Assalamualaikum, salam Malaysia Madani, and a warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a good morning so far, enjoying your breakfast, and enjoying the networking opportunity that this event provides. I would love to get everyone's attention and invite you to join us in the main hall as the opening ceremony will be starting shortly with the arrival of Yang Amat Berhormat, Dato Seri Ahmad Zahid bin Hamidi, who is the Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia and Minister of Rural and Regional Development. We'd love to have your kind attention to join us in the main hall as we are ready to begin. Please do kindly take note from time to time. There will be a QR code flashing on the screens, and this is, of course, for the purpose of Q&A via Slido. Throughout the event, various forums, various sessions, there will be QR codes for each of them, and our moderator or speaker will be able to pick up on your questions if you choose to send them via Slido. I am unsure if there will be any live questions. This will only be permissible if there's time for every session. But please do kindly take note that the best way to send in your questions is via Slido. So please do kindly take the opportunity to scan the QR codes when they pop up on your screens and do submit your questions. If you do see a question that you like or happen to be a question that you would like to ask yourselves, please do give that a like. This will push the questions up to the leaderboard and enable our moderator to get the moderator's attention. Dining areas. This is of great importance. For day one, Sarawak and Kedah rooms, which are just around the ballroom area. And for day two, only the Sarawak room. Please kindly take note, day two, dining area, only the Sarawak room. That is tomorrow. If you drove here today, your parking is validatable at the lobby area just before you leave for a flat rate of 18 ringgit. So please do kindly validate your parking at the lobby for a flat rate of 18 ringgit. As you would have kindly noted, we have an exhibition area just outside featuring some of the international exhibitors visiting Malaysia for the very first time. Do take the opportunity to visit them at any free moments that you have throughout the day and get to know our exhibitors a little better. Some of them are visiting Malaysia for the very first time, so do kindly check them out. We'll be starting soon, ladies and gentlemen. Do kindly place all sound-emitting electronic devices on silent mode for the short duration of the event. And upon the announcement of the arrival of our guest of honor, the Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia, do kindly rise for the national anthem of Malaysia, which will play shortly thereafter, Negaraku. Thank you for your kind cooperation. We'll be starting soon, and if you're outside, I hope you can hear this announcement. Do join us in the main hall. Thank you. Once again, a very good morning and a warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We will be starting shortly, and if you just joined us inside the main hall, welcome to the Global Skills Forum 2025. Thank you for your kind attendance this morning, and as we get set to begin the official opening ceremony, please do kindly take your seats.
This is the moment you've waited for.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please kindly rise. Announcing the arrival of the Honorable Dato Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid bin Hamidi, Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia and Minister of Rural and Regional Development, accompanied by the Honorable Mr. Stephen Sim Chee Keong, Minister of Human Resources Malaysia, and His Excellency Mr. Gilbert F. Houngbo, Director General of the International Labour Organization ILO, and our other distinguished guests. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please kindly remain standing in honor of the national anthem of Malaysia, Negaraku. Thank you, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Do kindly be seated. Thank you, members of the media. Before we begin this morning, allow me to kindly invite Mr. Sofyan Amin, Chief Programs Officer of HRD Corp, to lead us in the recitation of the Dua.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. Let us begin by reciting Kitab Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, on this blessed morning, in conjunction with the Global Skills Forum 2025, which is the 6th flagship event platform of the ASEAN Year of Skills, AYOS 2025, we beseech Thee and are grateful towards You in favor of all the infinite blessings to us for this gathering, for us to live a safe and prosperous life. We seek Your blessings for a flawless progress of this event, from the beginning till the end. Ya Ghaffar, we also humbly seek Your protection and well-being for our beloved country. May all her people live in peace, prosperity, and success, united in harmony, mutual respect, and shared purpose in building a brighter future together. Ya Munzil Barakat, ease our affairs and perfect all our undertaking with goodness. Preserve us from any threat and disaster, neither man-made nor natural. And to You, Ya Allah, we ask for security and prosperity upon us. Please make this gathering of ours a blessed one, and our parting thereafter a parting filled with Your blessings. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azaban nar wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
Ameen, Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Thank you, Mr. Sofyan Amin, for leading us in the recitation of the Dua. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning. Salam Malaysia Madani, and a warm welcome. Thank you for joining us, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the opening ceremony of the Global Skills Forum, GSF 2025. It is truly an honor to have before us this morning a gathering of amazing individuals in the global skills sphere, and we also are honored by the presence of the Honorable Dato Seri, Dr. Ahmad Zahid bin Hamidi, Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia and Minister of Rural and Regional Development. Thank you for joining us, Honorable Mr. Stephen Sim Chee Keong, Minister of Human Resources Malaysia, Honorable Tan Sri, Dato Sri Shamsul Azri bin Abu Bakar, Chief Secretary to the Government of Malaysia. Welcome to Malaysia, His Excellency Mr. Gilbert F. Houngbo, Director General of the International Labour Organization, ILO. And we'd like to also thank all the ministers joining us from around the ASEAN region. His Excellency Mr. Heng Saw, Minister of Labour and Vocational Training, Cambodia. His Excellency Mr. Pong Sai Sek, Intalat, Vice Minister of Labour and Social Welfare, Lao People's Democratic Republic. His Excellency Mr. Rogerio Araujo Mendonca, Secretary of State for Vocational Training and Employment, Timor-Leste. Yang Berbahagia Dato Azman bin Muhammad Yusof, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Human Resources, Malaysia. And we also welcome Mr. Darmawan Shah, Director General of Manpower, Placement, Development and Expansion of Employment Opportunities, Indonesia. Ms. Rosana E. Urdaneta, CISO 2, Deputy Director General for Policies and Planning, Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, TESDA, the Philippines. Ms. Nguyen T. Viet Hong, Deputy Director General of the Department for Vocational and Continuing Education and Training, Ministry of Education and Training, Vietnam. Yang Berbahagia Dato Abu Hurairah bin Abu Yazid, Chairman of the Board of Directors, Human Resource Development Corporation, HRD Corp. Yang Berusa Dr. Said Alwi bin Muhammad Sultan, Chief Executive of HRD Corp. Mr. Matthias Thorns, Vice President of the International Organization of Employers, IOE. His Excellency, Mr. Azar Bayramov, Director General of the OIC Labor Center. Ms. Madia Rami Lukri, Senior Officer, Labour and Civil Service Division, ASEAN Secretariat. Representatives of the various ASEAN member state ministers in attendance, Your Excellencies, ambassadors to Malaysia, delegates from the international and ASEAN member states, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for being a part of GSF 2025, which is spearheaded by the Ministry of Human Resources, Malaysia, Kasuma, through the Human Resource Development Corporation, HRD Corp. This event is strongly supported by the International Labour Organization, ILO, and the International Organization of Employers, IOE. Today, we will hear from visionary leaders who are redefining the way we think about employment, technology, and lifelong learning. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to set the stage for today's discourse, let's take a moment to look upon what the Global Skills Forum represents, its purpose, the people, and the mission to empower a global workforce. We direct your attention to the screen for the Global Skills Forum 2025 video montage.
The work landscape is shifting. Skills are no longer optional. The engine of progress and resilience. Skills, not just technical know-how, but the power to adapt, connect, and lead. Global Skills Forum 2025 sets the stage for what comes next. For the first time, the Global Skills Forum moves beyond Geneva, hosted proudly in Malaysia. 49 countries convene. Ministers, experts, industry captains, union leaders, and global bodies, all united under one platform to address key work challenges. Revolutionizing skills development through bold private sector leadership. Driving innovation through public-private partnerships and digital transformation. Spotlighting global best practices to elevate private sector engagement. Empowering sector skills bodies to align workforce strategies with industry needs. Connecting institutions worldwide to strengthen skills collaboration. Championing proven models for impactful private sector participation. This is where we co-create real solutions, delivering insights that spark real-world change. Global Skills Forum 2025. A global stage for bold ideas and real action.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, to deliver the opening speech, it is my pleasure to invite the Honorable Mr. Stephen Sim Chee Keong, Minister of Human Resources, Malaysia.
Thank you, our MC for this morning, Mr. Terence. Always very pleasant to hear your voice. The Honorable Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid bin Hamidi, Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia, Minister of Rural and Regional Development. The Honorable Tan Sri Dato Sri Samsul Azri bin Abu Bakar, Chief Secretary to the Government. His Excellency Mr. F. Houngbo, Director General of the ILO, fellow colleagues from ASEAN member states, colleagues from the Ministry of Human Resources, Malaysia, members of the Diplomatic Corp, friends, ladies and gentlemen, saudara-saudari yang saya kasih sekalian. Salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani, dan salam pekerja kesuma bangsa. Dasar dalam di air surut, lancar riak ombaknya hilang. Pasar jalan kerana turut, lancar kaji kerana ulang. That is a Malay pantun or poem containing the old Malay saying, pasar jalan kerana turut, lancar kaji kerana ulang. Basically meaning, if we want to be good at something, then we have to be trained, continue to be trained, skill, reskill, and upskill. And I took the liberty to translate that poem into English for the benefit of our foreign friends. When tides recede, the depths are seen. The surface calm, the waves do cease. The road is easy when it's routine, and learning comes by steady practice. First of all, I want to thank the Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dato Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid bin Hamidi, for spending his precious time to be with us here today in this very historic conference. Shall we give a round of applause to thank and welcome Yang Amat Berhormat Dato Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi. And I want to also welcome and thank my dear friend, His Excellency Gilbert Houngbo, the Director General of the International Labour Organization, for being here today with us. This, my dear friends, this is the first time the head of the ILO has visited Malaysia since our accession to the organization in 1957. Deputy Prime Minister, I've read this Director General's report at every international labor conference held in Geneva around June every year. I must say that His Excellency Gilbert Houngbo is a DG who listens not only to numbers and statistics, but he understands and he hears the heartbeats of workers in every corner of the world, their aspirations and their anxieties as workers face the excitement of new technology, the turbulence of global uncertainties, the threats of climate change and pandemics, and the precarity of 21st century work. Welcome once again, Your Excellency, to Malaysia. Your leadership and your presence today inspire us, not only in this country, but across the ASEAN region, to build a future of work that is dignified and more humane for all. I want to assure the Deputy Prime Minister that I have treated our guests with our unique brand of durian diplomacy, tackling thorny issues, but with a sweet aftertaste. Perhaps after our amazing durian conversation yesterday, the DG may even consider setting up a regional ILO office here in Malaysia as a launchpad to catalyze more labor market reforms across the region. My dear friends, recently I started reading Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's latest book, Rethinking Ourselves. In the prologue, he mentioned how in the late 90s, as a finance minister of Malaysia, in his welcoming speech to the then head of World Bank, James Wolfenson, he stressed that, and I quote him, "While we rejoice at our success, after all, it was the roaring 90s, we should not forget the plight of the poor and the marginalized." Now, more than 25 years later, as I welcome the head of the International Labour Organization, I must paraphrase Anwar Ibrahim's statement. This is mine. While we pursue rapid technological advancements in AI, digitalization, etc., and new investment projects, after all, we are now in the AI decade, the 21st century, we should not forget the plight of ordinary workers all around the world. Centuries before Ricardo, Smith, and Marx postulated the labor theory of value, the medieval North African Muslim polymath Ibn Khaldun observed how, and I quote him, labor is the real basis of profit. In other words, workers are the true creators of value in our economy. As the world focuses on new trade alignments and realignments, on larger-than-life leaders affecting geopolitics and geoeconomics, the gains for workers over the past 100 years must not only be safeguarded, but we must continue to progress, especially in view of new dynamics. Let me just give you one example. The gig economy or the platform economy. While we all hail the advancement of technology which made it possible to run a hotel chain without owning any hotels or even room units, a taxi company without owning a single car, a logistic firm without owning fleets of lorries and trucks, millions upon millions of workers labor every day across the world without protection traditionally accorded to employees. It may be an imperfect analogy, I know, but the more I ruminate and reflect on the gig economy, the more I've come to think that we are using 21st century technology to generate profit, while at the same time relying on 10th century labor concepts of feudal serfdom to put people to work. The ILO, under the leadership of His Excellency Mr. Gilbert Houngbo, is doing a great job in trying to get the difficult consensus to set global standards for gig workers. I know it is not easy because we have gone through the process here in Malaysia to get the buy-ins. There were resistance for sure, but we cannot talk about progress and then allow the clock to turn back 1,000 years for millions of workers in the gig sector. With the strong support, in particular from our Deputy Prime Minister himself, who is a key champion of the cause of the gig workers, on the 28th of August this year, the eve of our Independence Day, Malaysia passed our historic gig workers law to end this oppressive system for millions of gig workers in Malaysia. My dear friends, as the world discusses the future of work, we also have to work towards the future. The dignity of workers comes not only from protection, but also from competence and opportunity. And this is where skill education is important. But think about our university education system. About 1,400 years ago, the Chinese monk Xuanzang, if you watch Journey to the West, right? It was based after the historic Tang Dynasty monk Xuanzang. He traveled from Chang'an along the Silk Road across the Taklamakan Desert to the Pamir Mountains in Central Asia before reaching what was known as the Nalanda Mahavihara, the great ancient Buddhist university in eastern India. The journey there took 8 years, and Xuanzang spent about another 8 years in Nalanda studying Buddhist philosophy. And fast forward 500 years later, the great Saladin al-Ayyubi reinstituted the Al-Azhar Mosque Madrasah as an Islamic center of higher learning. Around the same period as Al-Azhar, to the west, the University of Oxford began with a group of church clerics and scholars gathering to study Christian theology. My dear friends, our universities were designed along the model of this great and ancient institution a millennium ago, 1,000 years ago. And then think about the Industrial Revolution, a relatively modern event about 250 years ago. And then the Industrial Revolution 4.0 or the IR 4.0, which is maybe 10 to 15 years. Just by looking at the timeline, we know that our traditional university system is obviously not built for the industry. You study 4 years in the classroom, maybe 5. Deep thinking. It is for us to think about what is love, what is pain, who is God, what is the labor theory of value. I give you an example. My first degree was in computer science. It took me 4 years to complete. When we graduated, most of my peers worked as coder or computer programmers, and they were very good at that. But the fact is that one only needs a few months, perhaps up to a year, to be fluent in a programming language. My 11-year-old son learned coding from YouTube, from watching YouTube when he was 6 or 7. So imagine paying and spending 4 years in a university program only to use a skill which one can learn in almost a quarter of that time. And I'm not advocating that we shouldn't go to university, right? To be fair to our universities, they are improving, they are catching up. This year's QS World Ranking, Malaysian universities have all improved in their ranking. But my dear friends, the IR 4.0 should be a TVET revolution, because IR 4.0 is about skills. And an education program for our workers should have three principles. Number one, learning on the job. Number two, learning by practice. And number three, learning continuously. In other words, it must be agile, flexible. It must be able to adopt and adapt to the fast-paced changes in the industry, and it must be able to do so very quickly. My ministry, Kasuma, under the leadership of Deputy Prime Minister, Seri Ahmad Zahid bin Hamidi, who is the chairman of the Malaysian TVET Council, we are working on a ministry-wide program to set up a new training platform, one which curates and syndicates the best skills courses provided by both local and global training providers, approved by the industry and accessible to all walks of the society. We are, however, building from a firm foundation. Here in Malaysia, we have embedded upskilling and reskilling into our labor market through HRD Corp. Under this system, employers contribute a 1% levy from their payroll, funds they can in turn use to train and upgrade their own workers. For the last 3 years, from 2023 till August this year, out of the 6.17 billion levy collected, a total of 5.77 or 94% levy has been spent on training about 4 million workers in Malaysia. Congratulations, HRD Corp. And in the last 2 years, we have also made it easier for employers to utilize the levy fund for a wide variety of training programs, but focusing always on the three principles of learning on the job, learning by practice, and learning continuously. For example, employers can now use the fund to pay for internship and graduate schemes, where varsity students as well as graduates are placed for training within the job environment while receiving up to 1 year of training allowances. And in his recent budget speech, the Prime Minister has also announced additional tax deduction for companies spending to train workers in the area of artificial intelligence or AI. Continuous and lifelong learning must become part of our national culture. That is why, since 2023, we have organized the National Training Week, a nationwide movement giving Malaysians 1 week of free access to skill courses ranging from artificial intelligence to indigenous arts, computer programming to public speaking, digital skills to mental health. In its first year, the program reached about 130,000 Malaysians. The following year, participants grew to almost 400,000 people. And this year, the third year, the National Training Week 2025 recorded nearly 4 million enrollment in just 1 week, supported by over 1,500 training providers offering over 73,000 free skill courses. This is not just about training. It is about building a culture of learning that keeps pace with change and ensures that no Malaysians is left behind in the future of work. We are proud. We are told that our friends from Indonesia, Myanmar, Timor-Leste are adopting the National Training Week concept, recognizing its potential to strengthen workforce development and skills training to be implemented in the respective countries. My dear friends, the Minister of Cambodia is here. I was told that they are looking to adopt the HRD Corp business model in driving a more structured and sustained training, upskilling initiative and workforce transformation. These developments reflect the growing regional interest in best practices for human capital development and the positive impact of collaborative approach to skills advancement. My dear friends, Malaysia aspires for ASEAN to be one of the most skilled regions in the world. Think about a market, labor market of middle to highly skilled workforce within a population of about 700 million people. This is a workforce which shares culture, tradition, language, and even food, even durian. In other words, the process of integration for economic collaboration here in this region, despite we too having our own challenges, is so much easier. This is the purpose for this Global Skills Forum held in a historic manner here in Malaysia. The Global Skill Forum is not a standalone program. It is the culmination of the ASEAN Year of Skills 2025, a year-long journey that has brought together governments, employers, workers, and learning communities across the region. From the ASEAN Year of Skill launch in April this year, to the ASEAN Human Capital Development Investment Symposium, the National Training Week, the ASEAN Training Marketing Conference, the ASEAN TVET Conference, and the National Human Capital Conference and Exhibition, each of these platforms has laid a stronger groundwork for a stronger, smarter, and more inclusive skills training ecosystem of the 21st century, not just in our respective countries in ASEAN, but also across the region. And now, the Global Skill Forum takes that conversation to a global scale, expanding our horizon, learning from the international best practices, and preparing for the ASEAN Forum of Manpower Ministers for Human Capital Development, which will translate all these discussions into concrete regional commitment. It is my great honor to welcome all distinguished delegates and participants to the Global Skills Forum GSF 2025. We in Malaysia, we are privileged to host such a distinguished assembly of policymakers, industry leaders, training providers, development partners, global institutions here in Kuala Lumpur. Thank you and congratulations to the organizers, Kasuma via HRD Corp, in partnership with the International Labour Organization and in collaboration with the International Organization of Employers, IOE. Your hard work made this historic conference a success. Terima kasih. Maramin salamat. Kap kum krap. Kam en. Auk kun. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Thank you to the Honorable Mr. Stephen Chee Keong, Minister of Human Resources, for the opening speech. And now, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with the stage set, I have the privilege of inviting to the stage Mr. Matthias Thorns, Vice President of the International Organization of Employers, to deliver his address.
Selamat pagi. Good morning. Your Excellency, the Honorable Dato Seri, Dr. Ahmad Zahid bin Hamidi, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Mr. Stephen Chee Keong, Minister of Human Resources, Gilbert Houngbo, ILO Director General, Honorable Ministers, the President of the Malaysian Employers Federation, Dato Dr. Syed Hussein Syed Husman, distinguished officials, friends and colleagues from around the world. It is a pleasure to join you in celebrating the ASEAN Year of Skills under the Malaysian strong leadership. We know this is a particularly difficult time for you in view of the ASEAN Summit coming up on Sunday, and we really appreciate that you nevertheless take the effort to host us here today. Thank you so much for that. We are particularly interested in hearing and learning about the joint declaration by ASEAN manpower ministers, which you will present later today to us. It is an honor to speak on behalf of the International Organization of Employers. The International Organization of Employers is represented here in the room with many, many colleagues coming from around the world, together with the IE Vice President Sonia Yahani. This year marks the 105th anniversary of the International Organization of Employers. The IE represents more than 50 million companies. And these companies, the Employers Federation, have a key role to play in the developing skills and in the governance of training and education. All studies show, for instance from the OECD, that if employers organizations are closely involved in the skill building systems, in the education systems, the outcomes are much better, and that systems which closely involve employers' federation in the governance record the lowest skill match rate, lower than 10% in comparison to systems which have a weak engagement of employers' organizations, which often have about 30% of skills mismatches. We are at a critical time. AI, emerging technologies are transforming industries, generating new types of jobs, demanding new skills, and these all in a remarkable speed. Climate change, globalization, and demographic shifts are reshaping labor market and reshaping what skills are needed. These factors are all interconnected, and policymakers and also social partners must remain responsive to them. Employers are finding it harder and harder to find the right skills for the jobs. According to a study of the Society for Human Resource Management, 75% of all organizations worldwide struggle to find the right skills. Skills are the key factor for economic growth, poverty eradication, and national development. The World Bank estimates that closing the global skills gap could boost the world economy by up to $6.5 trillion, which equals around 5 to 6% of the global GDP. You here in ASEAN, the ASEAN countries, have shown how investment in education and training systems translate into prosperity and development. Data from the Asian Development Bank indicate that the average years of schooling within Asia has doubled within a generation, directly contributing to long-term GDP growth. Many countries are now strengthening coordination across education skills systems, expanding investment in building the capacity of teachers, trainers, and institutions. Encouragingly, more governments are adopting whole-of-society approaches, fostering public-private partnerships, and engaging employer organizations as key partners in the governance of these systems. These steps are essential to create an agile and future-ready workforce needed in every economy. Malaysia has made huge progress in strengthening its skills ecosystem, with skills-related underemployment declining considerably. And for ASEAN, the OECD skills strategy reports the progress in the region and how it is reacting to megatrends such as digital transformation by calibrating skill systems to develop relevant skills over the life course, use them in work and society, and strengthen the governance of skill systems. The pace of change challenged all of us, but it also inspires innovation. The digital and green transition are creating unprecedented opportunities to rethink and revitalize skills-building systems. The surge and demand for generative AI illustrates how quickly new markets can emerge. Young professionals are adapting to this shift by acquiring complementary skills that combine technology, creativity, and human insights. And we just learned that the 6 years of son of the honorable ministers actually already learned coding through YouTube, which just shows how actually fluid skills are in nowadays. A few years ago, coding was seen as a very specialized skill. AI automated much of it. This reminds us that education system must evolve continuously to keep pace with transformation, equipping learners not just with technical expertise, but also with human and social skills such as problem solving, critical thinking, adaptability, and resilience. The key question then is not how to preserve old models, but how to build learning ecosystems that stay relevant and future-focused in the world where the only constant is change. This forum is a very timely and important opportunity to learn from each other, identifying what works and what does not work, and design collaborative solutions that prepare our economies and societies for the future. In the future, skills are not just power, they are the new currency of prosperity. With that, I would really like to thank again the HID Corp Ministry of Human Resources for their great hospitality and for organizing this forum, the ILO team to co-organize this forum and to really help us to bring us all together, and also the IoT team with Agostina Morni and Amadou Sako bring us all here together. This forum is a team effort, and I really appreciate this collaboration. It's a good sign for the future. Let us all be lifelong learners. I wish us all a successful forum, and whatever we take out of this forum, we implement at home. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Matthias Thorns. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now honored to hear from a global advocate of inclusive and sustainable skills development. Please welcome His Excellency, Mr. Gilbert Houngbo, Director General of the International Labour Organization.
His Excellency, Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Dato Seri, Dr. Zahid Ahmadi, Honorable Minister of Human Resource, my dear friend Steve Chee, Keong, my dear Matthias Thorns, Vice President of the International Organization of Employers, Dr. Saeed bin Mohammed Sultan, Chief Executive of HRD Corp, honorable ministers from the ASEAN member states, head of delegations, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is a real privilege for me to join you today in Kuala Lumpur, a city that I have not visited for the last 15 years. So I'm so very, very pleased for this opportunity to come here again. Please allow me to express my appreciation to the government of Malaysia, the Ministry of Human Resources, HRD Corp, and the International Organization of Employers for organizing this important event and associating the ILO. The government of Malaysia has carried out outstanding work as ASEAN Chair for the ASEAN Year of Skills 2025. I must express my heartfelt appreciation to the Ministry of Human Resources under your leadership, Mr. Minister Steve Sim, whom I regard as one of the region's most dynamic and visionary labor ministers. Your leadership in championing the ASEAN Year of Skills 2025 truly reflects Malaysia's commitment to empowering the whole region workforce for the future. The ILO stands ready to continue working with Malaysia and ASEAN countries as you strive to realize this vision. We are meeting at a defining moment for the world of work. Matthias mentioned it: technological innovation, artificial intelligence, the green and the digital transitions, the demographic change, and the new form of employment are transforming how we produce, how we learn, and how we work. These transformations bring opportunities for growth, opportunities for better productivity. But they also risk widening inequalities if workers and enterprises, particularly small and medium-sized enterprises, if they are left without the skills to adapt. This is why, for the ILO, skills development and lifelong learning are central to a human-centered future of work. They are key to unlock productivity, social inclusion, and to develop resilience. Investing in people's capabilities is critical to advance decent work and to advance social justice. Meeting the skills challenge requires strong partnership between governments, employers, workers. Government providing policies, investment, and incentives. Workers' organizations help ensuring that training opportunities are fair, are accessible, and right-based, while employers link learning to economic needs. No skills development strategy can succeed without enterprise engagement. This forum, therefore, rightly places the private sector at the heart of global skills and lifelong learning. As we reflect on this shared responsibility, it is important to focus our attention on three key areas where I believe joint action can make the greatest difference. First, innovation. Emerging technologies such as AI are transforming how we design and deliver learning and training. We must ensure that these innovations remain people-centered. This innovation remains ethical and they remain inclusive. Second, inclusion. Every worker, regardless of gender, regardless of age, background, or employment status, must have the opportunity to learn, the opportunity to reskill and upskill throughout their life. Skills systems must reach workers in the informal economy, persons with disabilities, and those in rural and underserved areas. Third, investment. Skills are the best investment any society can make. This requires adequate and predictable financing through public budgets, levy schemes, and co-investment by enterprises to sustain learning opportunities at every stage of working lives. Across continents, we see that when government, employers, and workers act together, skills become a driver of innovation, productivity, and inclusion. The AYOS Skills and Lifelong Learning Strategy 2030 calls for such collective action, linking national policies, sectorial initiatives, and international cooperation to close the skills mismatches and advance social justice. This forum offers an opportunity to forge partnerships and shape a future defined by shared choices. Let it serve as a catalyst for action toward a just and sustainable world of work. By investing in skills, strengthening dialogue among employers, workers, and government, and making lifelong learning a reality, a reality for all, we can and we must create pathways for decent work and equality for all. This, in turn, will support growth and shared prosperity throughout ASEAN region. I wish you all a very successful forum. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Gilbert Houngbo, for your warm words. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is now our highest honor to invite to the stage the Honorable Dato Sri, Dr. Ahmad Zahid bin Hamidi, Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia and Minister of Rural and Regional Development, to deliver the officiating speech and launch GSF 2025.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh, and very good morning. Yang Berhormat Saudara Steven Sim, Honorable and Excellency Mr. Gilbert Houngbo, Director General ILO, Dato Azman Yusof, KSU Kusuma, Dato Abu Hurairah, Dr. Said Alwi, fellow ministers from ASEAN member states, Mr. Matthias Thorns, Mrs. Matthias Rahmi Lukri, Senior Official, Labour and Civil Service Division, ASEAN Secretariat, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I have no pantun to be delivered, as extremely and excellent pantun delivered by YB Steven Sim. But it is a great honor, a real great honor for me to be given the opportunity to officiate the Global Skills Forum 2025, held for the first time outside Geneva. So thank you for the DG of ILO for giving us the opportunity. To me, this is more than just an event. It is a moment of history because for the first time since Malaysia joined ILO in 1957, we welcome the official visit of ILO Director General. Thank you once again. I hope you had enjoyed the durian. I know the smell is hell, but the taste is heaven. This forum marks as a powerful testament to how far we have come as a nation and how deeply we are committed to the cause of skills, human capital, and social justice. As chairman of Malaysia's National Tibet Council, I have witnessed firsthand how swiftly the world of work is being transformed, driven by artificial intelligence, the green economy, and new global trade dynamic. In this defining moment, we are reminded that skills are the true currency of future. I would like to repeat, skills are the true currency of the future. And knowledge is the key that unlocks the door to shared prosperity. Alhamdulillah, with the presence of nearly 50 participating countries from ASEAN and beyond, sends a powerful message that skill development is not an isolated agenda, but a shared global responsibility. A responsibility to ensure that every worker, every youth, and every community has the chance to learn, to adapt, and to thrive. Under the banner of the ASEAN Year of Skills 2025, Malaysia stands proud to host this gathering not just as the declaration of achievement, but as a renewed commitment. We believe that the true wealth of a nation lies not in its natural resources, but in the skills, resilience, and spirit of its people. In Islam, ilmu or knowledge is nur, a light that guides humanity. And amal or work is ibadah, a sacred act of service. When we speak about skills, we are not merely discussing training or employment, but essentially, we are talking about restoring dignity to labor, giving purpose to effort, and building a future where progress and compassion walk hand in hand. Across the world, we are witnessing a powerful shift. Skills are no longer on the sidelines. They are now stand at the center of national strategy. The fourth industrial revolution has compelled every nation to reimagine how we prepare our people for the future of work. In this global race of relevance, those who invest in practical, adaptable, and future-ready talent will not just survive, they will lead. So Saudara-saudari, the future of work is being rewritten before our eyes. The forces reshaping our economies, artificial intelligence, automation, the green transition, and demographic shift are not only changing how we work, but redefining why we work. They demand that technology move with wisdom and progress with purpose. Whether this new era uplifts or divides all of us, it will depend on one thing: how boldly we invest in people. AI, for instance, is no longer confined only to lab or algorithms. It now sits beside us in classrooms, boardrooms, and even in smallest of enterprises. It can translate languages, analyze data, and optimize productions. But I can ensure that it can never replace human judgment, compassion, or conscience. These are the very traits that make us human. And they must be protected and strengthened through education and skill. Yet, as much as AI creates new possibilities, it also presents new risks, from widening inequality to job displacement. If left unchecked, it could deepen the gap between those who have access to skill and those who do not. That is why skills development must be treated not as an afterthought, but as the foundation of national resilience. We must recognize that the next great divide will not be between rich and poor nations, but between skilled and unskilled societies. The ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn will determine whether countries rise or fall in this new global economy. Malaysia sees this not as a challenge to fear, but as an opportunity to transform. Through strategic initiative under the Malaysia Madani framework, we are reforming our skills ecosystem, aligning education with industry, integrating TVET with technology, and embedding values-based learning into our national agenda. As a nation, we have always believed that progress must serve people, not the other way around. We must ensure that every transformation, whether digital or industrial, must remain human-centered. We cannot build smart cities without wise citizens, nor a generation that will stand tall in the age of AI, not as followers of machines, but as their masters. Saudara-saudari, as we navigate this new era, Malaysia's conviction is very clear. We cannot shape the future alone. Skills transcend borders. Knowledge knows no nationality. And talent, when nurtured together, can lift an entire region. This is the spirit behind the ASEAN of Skills 2025, uniting the nation around one truth: the future of ASEAN lies in the strength of its people. As mentioned by Saudara Stephen Sim, with nearly 700 million citizens, most of them are under the age of 35. ASEAN is one of the world's youngest and most dynamic regions. If we invest wisely, this huge dividend can drive innovation and prosperity for decades. But if we neglect it, we risk losing a generation to inequality and irrelevance. Under Malaysia's ASEAN chairmanship, we aim to turn potential into progress. Through the Ministry of Human Resources and Corp, in collaboration with ASEAN Secretariat, of course the ILO and IOE, we are developing new frameworks for cross-border recognition of skill and shared investment in human capital. In this ASEAN Year of Skills, our priorities are clear. First, to strengthen national skills system that align education and TVET with Industry 4.0 and, of course, the green economy. Second, to expand the skill and upskilling opportunities for women, youth, persons with disabilities, also workers in the informal sector. Third, to promote mutual recognition of skill across borders, so ASEAN can move as one, with a workforce that is mobile, competitive, and future-ready. Saudara-saudari, governments may chart the direction, but it is the people and partnership that give momentum to change. In the story of skills development, no single actor can act alone. Governments build frameworks. Industry gives the life. And workers give the meaning. The private sector is not just a beneficiary of skilled workers. It is a co-creator of talent and a partner of nation building. Every investment in skill is an investment in competitiveness, innovation, and shared prosperity. In Malaysia, the HRD Corp model has shown how this partnership works well. Through its levy-based system, employers co-fund and shape training to ensure that learning remains relevant and responsive to industry needs. I wish to commend the ILO, the International Organization of Employers, IOE, and ASEAN Secretariat for their shared leadership and enduring partnership in advancing this agenda. I would like to offer a big hand to all these organizations. Together, all these organizations represent the true spirit of collaboration, one that unites government, employers, and workers in shaping a future that is innovative, inclusive, and grounded in human values. In this sense, collaboration is not just an economic strategy. It is an ethical responsibility. Progress must be inclusive. Profits must be served with purpose. And productivity must be guided by compassion. The measure of our time will not be written by a machine we build, but the values we uphold and the lives we choose to uplift. Because progress without purpose is hollow, and innovation without inclusion is blind. The story of skill is not just about work, it is about worth. It is about the quiet dignity of a youth who learns, the pride of a worker who leads, and the strength of a nation that believes in its people. So, let this forum mark a true turning point, where the private sector stands not merely as a beneficiary of progress, but as the architect of a future powered by skill, purpose, and partnership. Let this be the moment where every nation in ASEAN declares with one united voice that the future of work belongs to those who build it together. Then, to the DG of ILO, I was made to understand this is your third visit to Malaysia. In our culture, we believe after third visit will be fourth and future visit to our beloved country, inshallah. To our colleague from ASEAN nation, ASEAN member countries, please welcome again. Next week, or end of this week, your leaders will be here again. I hope we will benefit of all of our member countries. And welcome to our new friend, Timor-Leste, as member of ASEAN. And with that spirit and our shared commitment, I hereby officiate the Global Skill Forum 2025. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Honorable Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi. We would like to invite you, sir, to kindly remain on stage as I invite the Honorable Mr. Stephen Sim Chee Keong, His Excellency Mr. Gilbert Houngbo, Yang Berbahagia Dato Azman bin Muhammad Yusuf, Mr. Matthias Thorns, Dato Abu Hurairah bin Abu Yazid, and Dr. Said Alwi bin Muhammad Sultan to kindly join the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister on stage for the official launch of the Global Skills Forum 2025. We would like to invite all our distinguished guests to jointly place their palms on the globe to initiate the launch sequence. As we count down from 3, 2, 1. With that, welcome officially to the Global Skills Forum 2025. Thank you to the Honorable Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi for officially launching GSF alongside our other distinguished guests. We'd like to invite everyone to remain on stage for the handover of the Malaysia commitment to skills development for future workforce. I would like to kindly invite to join us on stage His Excellency Mr. Pong Sasek Intalat, Vice Minister of Labour and Social Welfare, Lao People's Democratic Republic, His Excellency Mr. Rogerio Araujo Mendoca, Secretary of State, Vocational Training and Employment, Timor-Leste, Mr. Dharma Wansha, Director General of Manpower Placement Development and Expansion of Employment Opportunities, Indonesia, Ms. Rosana A. Urdaneta, CISO2, Deputy Director General for Policies and Planning, Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, TESDA, the Philippines, and Ms. Nguyen T. Viet Huong, Deputy Director General of Department of Vocational and Continuing Education and Training, Ministry of Education and Training, Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, the Malaysia commitment to skills development for the future workforce marks Malaysia's pledge to ASEAN nations and the global community in strengthening collaboration, nurturing future-ready skills, and empowering communities towards a resilient, sustainable, and competitive Malaysia within ASEAN. Witnessed by all our distinguished guests on stage, I would like to now invite the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister to witness the handover, as I invite the Honorable Mr. Stephen Sim Chee Keong, Minister of Human Resources Malaysia, to hand over the Malaysia commitment to His Excellency Mr. Gilbert F. Houngbo, Director General of the ILO. Can we have the document, please? Your Excellency, we'd like to invite you to receive the joint commitment from the Honorable Mr. Stephen Sim Chee Keong. Let's have one final group photograph with all our distinguished guests on stage. And with that, I would like to welcome the Honorable Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi and all our distinguished guests to kindly return to their seats. As I now invite, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media to join us on stage for one final photograph. Photography crew, we'd like to invite you to kindly take your positions on stage as our distinguished guests return to their seats. Delegates of GSF 2025, we'd like to invite everyone to kindly rise. Everyone, could we kindly all stand so we're all visible in this final photograph. And to all our distinguished guests in the front row, we'll have the Global Skills Forum branding there, marking the very first time the GSF 2025 is held on this scale here in Malaysia. And we would like to invite everyone to kindly focus your attention, your bright smiles, to the main cameras on stage. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, international delegates, welcome to the Global Skills Forum 2025. Thank you, members of the media, and on that note, we thank the Honorable Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid bin Hamidi, Deputy Prime Minister of Malaysia and Minister of Rural and Regional Development, for joining us in officiating GSF 2025. We'd like to invite the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister to be accompanied on a tour of the exhibition booths just outside. For your information, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, some of the international booths are visiting Malaysia for the very first time. To all our other delegates, please kindly take your seats as we will be resuming with the Global Skills Forum proper in just a short moment. Please do kindly be seated. To all our delegates, please do kindly be seated, and you may occupy the seats in front. So please do kindly move as far forward as possible as we get set to begin the Global Skills Forum discussion in just a short moment. Thank you.